Welcome. Starting today, we would start with a series of lectures expected before your prelims examination 2025. So, we would be coming up with 20 sessions, and across those 20 sessions, we would be actually covering 40 around 40 to 50 topics every category, right? So we would start with the first category, that is polity. Now under polity we would be discussing around 20 important news that had happened over the past period and the important expected topics besides the conventional topics. So these are not the contemporary topics, but from these contemporary topics there are certain conventional information which becomes important. Also note that I won't be going into a comprehensive detail. The idea of these lectures is to introduce you with some of the important topics. The complete notes would be available in the Examrace current affairs handouts. So those are available free of charge. So you can simply go there, visit there and read the content in detail if you want for every news article that we have discussed here. So the first one would be the special packages that have been assigned for Bihar and Andhra Pradesh. Now this is a special financial assistance package, but the most important thing here is the Reorganization Act 2014, which focuses on the financial assistance and grant, specifically in the irrigation project at Polavaram, which is one of those, and then roads in the Kopathari node in the regions of Visakhapatnam Chennai Industrial Corridor and Orkaval node in the Hyderabad Bangalore region. So these two are the important nodal decisions that have been taken. Then again, certain important matters under constitution has been discussed for the special package and their powers, and these have been mentioned in the following articles. So again, an important aspect. And then article 282 talks about the miscellaneous financial provisions and the discretionary grants which have been discussed for the same, allocated both by the center and the state. So there are definite needs for special allocation, the reasons for the same, and granting autonomy. The next is local body auditing. Now there has been an International Center for Audit of Local Governance which was inaugurated in Rajkot, which is a unique, which aims to establish the global standards for auditing local governance across India. And this pan-India model would be a knowledge center and a think tank model which would focus on the following aspects, which is pre-audit, field audit, the testing, preparation, post-audit and public disclosure. Now why do we need? India has nearly 2.5 lakh panchayats, 8,000 urban local bodies, and therefore if there is a common portal where exchange of knowledge and ideas can take place, this could have a better outcome in terms of bringing in efficiencies and implementation. So local self-government governance we have at the rural as well as the urban areas, and 73rd and 74th amendment become important. So again, read those carefully. And then some of the articles related to it. So decentralization of local bodies, article 243G. Then talking about maintenance and audits of account by panchayat, 243J and 243Z, which talks about provisions for maintaining the accounts of the municipality. So existing local audit system has been carefully taken into account and derived from the Comptroller and Auditor General's Powers Act 1971, and it actually oversees the 3 tiers of panchayat and the urban bodies. So there are significance which we need to understand once these local bodies are brought into field. One is the accountability, the evaluation of the performance, the participation, the public trust and the decentralization, right? So those are some of the things that we need to take into account. The next important topic that we would understand here is on the CBI. Now there was a recent case of West Bengal versus Union of India where the Supreme Court supported the lawsuit given by West Bengal government against the union concerning the registration and investigation of cases by CBI. And this was one of the important suits which was including article 131, which grants Supreme Court the original jurisdiction in the disputes of center or the state. So establishment, the motto of CBI becomes important. It's a non-statutory, non-constitutional body which has been established by the Delhi Special Police Establishment Act 1946. The consent of the state for CBI and the cases under the section 6 are important. Then the key rulings of the CBI cases, which talks about Common Cause versus Union of India case 2019, is one of the major rulings where Supreme Court said that central government must appoint the CBI director based on the recommendation of Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition from Lok Sabha and the Chief Justice of India. Then there was another important case which was the case of CBI versus the R.R. Kishore case 2023, which was again important. Then there was another case with Sanjeev Chaturvedi, Vineet Narayan. So all these cases again you would find in the handout. Since it's an elaborate class, we won't be going into details of everything here. The next is the Constitution of India and France. Now this has been in news. So what comes into light is what elements of the Constitution have been derived from which country. So you must have a clear note about it, and it's really, really important. Now Tipu Sultan actually planted the tree of liberty in his capital Srirangapatnam and called it as Citizen Tipu. Now France has actually focused on the idea of republic, and this has been a long proven idea. Both the countries have written constitution which have the ideas of liberty, fraternity and equality, but again there are certain differences. So in India, people exercise the sovereignty by electing the representative. In France, people actually have the power both through the elected representative as well as participation in the referendums. So that is a difference again. And in France, the president is elected for 5 years through the direct universal suffrage, and no individual can have more than 2 consecutive terms in the office. So those are some of the minor differences that we see. The next is the sub-classification of scheduled caste. Now there was another case of Punjab and others versus Davinder Singh, and this was a 7-judge constitutional bench which focused on the sub-classification of scheduled caste for providing separate quota for more disadvantaged groups which lie within the scheduled caste categories. Now the idea of this reservation definitely aims to earmark the ideas of bringing in economic equality, welfare, scholarship, development programs, social welfare schemes and targeting of resources. And then there are certain judgment highlights which have been given in this direction which actually focus on the case. Again, some of the notable rulings which we have, the list of those that have been mentioned here, which focuses on creamy layer concept, creamy layer within OBC, creamy layer within the backward class, and the developments on the same that has been taken into account. The next that we would discuss is the citizens' participation for good governance. Now this is again a very important topic for your GS paper 4 as well, under the MyGov platform, which now completes its 10th year. So these are the objectives under the MyGov app, and there are numerous campaigns that have been started, which is the LIFE, which focuses on environmental degradation, Stay Safe Online, which was idea about cyber security and issues, Swachh Bharat, Clean India mission. Then you have millets as superfood as some of the important ones. Now definitely it actually involves citizens' contribution. The topics that we have discussed in the flowchart above are being discussed again here. The next important topic is surrogate advertisement. Now, Ministry of Family Health Welfare has talked about Sports Authority and BCCI to take steps to prevent any kind of surrogate advertising of tobacco and alcohol by athletes. And this is, they have to sign an anti-tobacco declaration prohibiting any promotion in the stadiums, in the events being organized through the Ministry of Sports Affairs, right? So some of the important things that must be taken into account here is the compliance, the visibility of the brand, the market reach, the revenue, advertisement and diversification. So surrogate advertisement actually replaces the products that cannot be directly advertised due to the legal restrictions. So tobacco, alcohol, these items are not promoted like this. So there can be false claims, misleading representations or unfair trade practices which are incorporated to build these brands and recognition. So that has been taken into account. And then the consequences is definitely on the health, the consumers and the companies. So there are certain ethical implications which have been identified, and out of sight out of mind marketing approach actually encourages customer to use the products which are given through the celebrity endorsements, right? So again, an important aspect. The next is legislative impact assessment. So this was a recommendation of the audit on the Maharashtra slums area, and this talked about the audit of the Maharashtra Slum Area Act and focused on the execution of some of the major components of the rule of law, providing housing for the displaced slum residents and the responsibility of the assessing body. So some of the important aspects that have been brought under it focuses on regulatory impact assessment, legislative impact assessment in terms of social, environmental, economic ideas. This assessment has to take into account. And then the concept of bounded rationality, which actually focuses on the constraint by incomplete information that has been provided. The next one is the Jan Yojana Abhiyan. The Jan Yojana Abhiyan is what is called as the People's Plan campaign, and this facilitates the development of the Panchayati Raj, the Panchayat development, boost involvement of panchayats, and Sabki Yojana Sabka Vikas is one of the major ideas under this. So it focuses on underprivileged, financial inclusion, social security schemes, public services and so on. So including concepts like Gram Sabha, Mahila Sabha, Ward Sabha are some of the concepts which are part of it. So under Article 40 we are focusing on village panchayats as self-governing units. Then again Article 73 and 74 comes into play here. Now the participation could be as a right, as a process and as an end. The idea is to have better reach and better participation for a way ahead. The next is free legal aid. Now this is again an important topic that you must be familiar with. Now this free legal aid talks about the challenges which are first of all included under the Legal Services Authority, how they are available, the jail visits, the lawyers, the paralegal volunteers, how they would be prioritized, and the idea behind the legal aid free of charge in India. So this again covers and protects the Article 21 of Life and Liberty and guaranteeing equal justice and free legal aid under Article 39A. So Legal Services Authorities Act was created, the NALSA, SALSA and the DALSA, which is the national, state and the district level, and it is part of the Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita. Now the Bharatiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita, again extremely important, we have covered separate lectures on it. Cover this topic comprehensively, highly important for your upcoming examination. The next is RTI. Now RTI has completed, the Right to Information Act has completed 20 years, and through this we have seen the Freedom of Information Act, which has been overtaken under the 2002, and this aims at strengthening the democracy, bringing in better transparency, accountability, reducing the bureaucratic upheavals and the middlemen in the process, right? So direct approach to the information and to the knowledge is part of it. Even the ability to see your papers, challenge it, is part of it. The next is very, very important for this time, one nation, one election. Now in light of one nation, one election, you need to know the election of president, prime minister, the selection of cabinet very, very carefully. Each and every clause must be very, very crystal clear to you. The state assemblies, the members of parliament, their process of election, again their eligibilities and criteria become extremely important. But the whole idea of one nation, one election is to definitely reduce the election expenditure, to have lesser pressure on the government servants who are being involved with it, to bring out a long-term planning, because once the government is stable at the center and the state, there can be proper implementation. But the critics do believe that if there is a constant change, then the quality of the work improves. So there are pitfalls, and the process pros and cons, we could say, for the same. But there have been various propositions for the same, and some of the committees which have worked in this direction include the 170th report of Law Commission, then the National Commission for reviewing the working of Constitution, Parliamentary Standing Committee, the working of Niti Aayog 2017, and then a high level committee which focuses on the implementation and the various issues related to it. The next topic that we would focus on is the global AI governance. Now, global AI governance is a framework where we actually prevent the misuse of AI, develop AIs ethically, reduce the working load and the number of people being employed, but at the same time we bring in better privacy and better content delivery with higher efficiencies, we could say. So global AI governance is one such important pathways. Even the recent project of Donald Trump for AI generation focuses on not only governance but again healthcare and other allied issues. So this is one of the fundamental developments, very very important. The companies which are taking part into it again becomes important. So those are basically on the lines of the UN report which is governing AI for humanity. The next important is the redressal, the grievance redressal mechanism, the GRM mechanism. The idea is under the CP Grams, there is a 10-step reform process which was initiated in 2022. The idea is timely solution, and the timeline has been reduced to only 21 days, and this actually brings in better, faster and speedy solution to the problems, ensuring equity and fairness for everyone. So even a common man can file a case. Let's say it's a case related to post office, and then if your mail has been missed or your money order is not reached, then in that case you can actually reach the CP Grams and get a speedy resolution for it. So the 10-step reform under CP Grams have been mentioned. This would be available in the handout, so you can take a clear look onto it. This one is really really important. So this was a case of Balram Singh versus Union of India 2024, where it was challenged the words whether socialist and secular should be part of the preamble under the 42nd Constitution. The 42nd Constitution is also known as the mini Constitution of India, which was known for its series of amendments. So again, 42nd amendments, the developments under 42nd amendment become very very important, and these terms were added during the period of emergency but did not actually relate to the will of the people. There were various issues regarding those, but later on there has been the development of the concepts, and we have discussed those here. The next is the property rights in India. Now again, there was a case of Property Owners Association versus the State of Maharashtra to restrict the state's power to acquire any private property, and there have been various previous rulings which have been overturned, which treated private properties as community resources, and this is definitely a significant change in the legal system in the battle of property rights. And again, the idea is to bring in economic growth and empowerment. So there has been various articles which it goes through. So article 19(1)(f), which is one of the ideas where right to property and compensation were protected. Then 25th amendment, which included the article 31C, shielding the laws which fulfill the DPSPs from being challenged for violating the fundamental rights, which have been included, right? So those are some of the important ones. And then the doctrine of eminent domain, which allows the government to acquire private property for public use by fair compensation that must be given to the owners. And this was with the case of Sudarshan Charitable Trust versus Government of Gujarat. Now the next one is Supreme Court's decisions and its implementations, which focus on various reforms which relate to market economies, land reforms, and various governmental reforms. The NGOs, now under the NGOs, we would focus firstly on the roles and responsibility, the regulation. So these NGOs are established under the Societies Registration Act 1960, the India's Trust Act 1882, and the state legislation or the Section 8 of Companies Act 2013. They must obtain a FCRA, which is the registration license from Ministry of Home Affairs, and there are various acts which regulate the foreign contribution to individuals, organizations and NGOs. So their roles and responsibility depends it's in a variety of field in which they operate. So it could be Bachpan Bachao Andolan for children's rights, Seva for women in the informal sector, NAS Foundation for HIV/AIDS victims. Oxfam has done numerous researches for preservation of cultural heritage under the INTAC. So there are various schemes and projects related to it. Some of the important committees include the Vijay Kumar Committee, which talks about the light regulation approach to balance the freedom of NGOs. The next is digitization of land records. Very important project that has been started. Through the cadastral map, the digitization has reached nearly 68 to 70%, which has been integrated for various land records. The data entries have been done in detail, and this aims to scan the old documents, preserve those, and bring in better digitization and connectivity. So any kind of illegal or intermittent things that were happening could be checked, and there could be a formal registration system that can be brought back, right? So the Model Act on Conclusive Land Tilting by Niti Aayog can actually give formulations for state specific laws and policies. And then we do have a national generic document registration system, right? The next is people with disability. Now under this, we focus on the act that was brought in 2016, which instructed the center to have mandatory rules for right for persons with disability to ensure that they have accessibility in public areas and services. And this studies were later done under 4 categories, which is locomotor, visual, hearing, and speech and language. And there are various constitutional provisions which have been brought to focus on those, which focus on preamble, the fundamental rights, which focuses on ensuring access to space, services, free movement, and right to live with dignity. Article 41 talks about public assistance in case of unemployment, old age, or disease or disability. Then there are 2 important schedules for the panchayat and the municipality, which focuses on disabled and mentally challenged people, focusing on the efforts which have been done to align with the government's idea is the Rehabilitation Council of India, the National Trust for Welfare of Peoples with Disability, the public service enterprises like AMILCO, National Divyang Finance and Development Corporation, which has come into play. Then the next is the internal democracy in the political party. So there are various issues which have been raised regarding the democratic principle, how candidates should be chosen, which leader should emerge, what are the policies that should be formulated, and nearly 46% of the newly elected Lok Sabha members have criminal charges. So how to ensure better political representation, youth participation, and better leadership has to be taken into account. And this transparency was emphasized by John Stuart Mill Advocacy of Freedom of Thought and Discussion on Liberty in 1857. There are numerous reasons for lack of internal party democracy. Now we won't dive into that detail ahead, but the main idea is the various committees that have come into play, which is the Tarkunde Committee, the Dinesh Goswami Committee, Indrajit Gupta Committee. Very important to increase transparency in political party operation. And then the National Commission, which would review the comprehensive guidelines for registration and functioning of the political party. So those are some of the important things that we have discussed in this lecture. In case you have any questions or queries, feel free to connect back. And of course, we will be covering a series of lectures like this, expected important topics before your prelims examination. Stay tuned. Thanks for joining in.